Welcome back to the channel, y'all. We got another one. Cornel West shuts down this hater. Wilson. Wilson is his name. And he was saying a lot of disrespectful things to Andrew Wilson is his name. Andrew Wilson was saying a lot of disrespectful things on a panel during the Piers Morgan show, smoking a cigarette, just being very disingenuous to all of his negative rhetoric and his talking points, just showing bad work decorum, bad work ethic, just terrible mannerisms, very rude. And he was very, very blunt and arrogant. So our great master teacher, philanthropist, theologist, astronomist, politician, master grand teacher, you name it, man. He disrespected our legend, and he go all the way too far by calling them. Well, look, I ain't even gonna say the name. Y'all go check this video out, man. I was so upset, man. I just wanted to go through the screen. The craziness that he was just talking out of the side of his mouth, man, without having just straight tacky Greto. They didn't have, they didn't know how to properly address disagreement in the panel. Excuse me, y'all. And Cornel West had to let him know, excuse me, that I won't be tolerating this. And he definitely, stormed off, man, and he let him have it because all of his things he was saying was just saying all left wingers wanted to see him die and all of this, man. Just straight ghetto. Let's get into the clip, man, without no further ado, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get into this clip.
Blamed for what everyone in that company has to say. Anyone in that company has to say.
The
I'm
head
an
of that
individual.
company?
We are supposed to judge people based on individuals. He did not go around calling Charlie Kirk a fascist and a Nazi.
Saying that you don't have good reasoning skills. If it's the case that you think, oh my
well,
God,
I'm judging
you can't be calling people
so
Nazis. You can't be calling people Nazis while your boss does all the time.
Why are you making that up? You're just making it up. You're just making it up. We're all the same. That's how simple-minded you are. You're all the same. Okay, then everyone on the right is just like Dylan Roof.
All right. Let me bring in. I want to bring in Cornel West. I want to bring in Cornel West. I want to bring in Cornel. He's been waiting. Please let Cornel come in now. He's been waiting very patiently. Cornel, welcome back to Uncensored, where things are getting incendiary quite quickly. I think the overriding.
Look at him all tacky, smoking a cigarette, being disrespectful, no mannerisms, no proper decorum, no proper presentation, no professionalism, just tacky.
Point I would make about the debate we've just been hearing between Andrew and Anna is that there is little doubt to me that the constant rhetoric on the left, the woke left, let me be specific to where I think a lot of the blame lies, ever since Donald Trump came into power in 2016, has been this relentless use of the phrases Hitler, Nazis, fascists about Trump and about Trump supporters. And the problem with constantly saying this as a group, as the woke left have done for 9 years now, is that eventually it permeates down to young, impressionable minds who genuinely believe that it is their mission to stop America from being taken over by the new Nazis or the new fascists or the new Hitler. And that leads to the kind of thing we saw with Charlie Kirk. Do you agree that this language, this relentless, in my view, woeful misuse, particularly of the word Nazi, towards Trump and his supporters, this is part of the problem?
Well, I think part of the deeper problem, though, Brother Pierce, is that the organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference toward the vulnerable has come together in such a way that it has eroded the sources of character formation, so that integrity honesty, decency, and self-critical sensibilities of individuals and groups is more and more disappearing. So you end up with because hatred itself is promiscuous, just like greed, just like indifference toward the suffering of others. It's promiscuous. It will lie with the left, right, center. It lies with Christians. It lies with Muslims. It lies with Jews. It lies with Buddhists. It lies with Hindus. And human beings were so wretched in the first place. If we don't undergo some kind of spiritual and moral cultivation, we end up falling back on greed and hatred and indifference. And I mean, the American empire at this moment is one in which the lethal combination of the hatred and the greed and the indifference generates very much the exchange that we just saw. You see, this brother right here says, well, all leftists want to see me dead. Well, I'm a leftist. I don't want to see you dead. I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. People have gone out
You're
of
absolutely
your way.
right.
You have gone out of your way.
No, let me make the case. Let me make the case. Let me make the case.
Oh, yeah,
Will you allow me to speak, brother? Come on, man. Come on. No. You haven't made the case. If you think I've made the case, then you're not interested in dialogue.
You just said this brother over here said this.
You're very, very different than Brother Charlie, man. You're very different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's your rhetoric due to people like you that got that man killed, sir.
No. There are such a thing as neo-fascists. But Pierce, why you have a brother on who's not going to allow nobody to speak? If all you're interested in is making your money, and you bring this brother on it, and nobody can say a word, and we can't even mourn Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's going to say, oh, this kumbaya and so forth. No, Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids, because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Pierce, it's not worth it.
Is Charlie Kirk part of the neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Yeah.
When Charlie himself says that he is against Civil Rights Act, does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag, I'm critical of that. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, Brother Wilson. You're absolutely right. But if all you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like the so-called leftists you're talking about. But Pierce, you making your money, brother. Go on and make your money, man.
It's all about making.
Not worth it.
Cornel,
this brother
it's
right
about
here
making money.
Part of the problem. This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen. But this brother's not willing to listen.
Cornel, can you sit down? I would like you to remain part of the debate.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Why don't you cry
more?
Go on and make your money, man.
Right. Well, there's a kind of farcical to quit a debate where we're literally debating about the importance of free speech and being able.
Man. So, yeah, his name was Andrew Wilson, man. A lot of people wasn't really agreeing with the sentiment that a brother Cornel West was saying, but at the same time, man, it's about respect, professionalism, man. But this is just a video to showcase exactly how to handle them, man. Don't even feed into them, man. He didn't show any respect on the panel, man. And of course, everybody's now trying to be the new Charlie Kirk now. People are out here losing their jobs. Like there was a nurse out here lost her job for, just bad mouthing his name and things like that. You know how they get overreact. But shout out to the brother Cornel West, man, for standing on 10 toes, standing on business, even though we don't agree with, what he was saying. I still like the fact that he tried to reshape the narrative and corrected Andrew Wilson when he was trying to say, oh, people like you got him murdered, unalived. And he was just saying anything for just clicks. And you could tell he was just trying to trigger, just saying anything. just babbling. That man that killed Charlie Kirk had nothing to do with us. It didn't look like us. He had no association connected to us and none of that. And they just wanted to find a reason to point the finger because they don't have anybody to point the finger at. They're out here at these marches shouting, white man fight back. Well, who are you fighting against? Who are you fighting back? And it's just, they don't really know what else to do. And he got to the point where this guy's smoking a cigarette. You know, no professionalism, no training. Nobody's ever, whenever you get to any real true politics in this, it's no real politics in it because they just deflect and they just can't admit the fact that it's just white supremacy, bottom line. And the whole world now, the younger generation is starting to catch on to their game, and they're following the new crowd because they've grown up in the hip hop era, and they had friends and students, peers, and work colleagues, and built a coexisting relationships over the past 30 years with hip hop. Hip hop's raised a lot of the generation, and they don't really know what to do. You got Jimmy Kimmel, man, got canceled for talking about Trump and talking about Charlie Kirk. And they're actually exploding, man. And they're talking about people on the left and their religious beliefs and just condemning their belief system and their customs and things like that their traditional ways of sticking to. They're trying to bash that in, but they're finding out even the white Christians are actually the ones behind doing the rioting, sir. So they're really, really mad, man. They don't know what to do. So, shout out to Cornel West, man, for standing on business and correcting that. Because no, you're not going to put the blame on us. Put the blame right back on you. And we put the blame right back on Andrew Wilson. No, the person that you so-called, that was a so-called kill Charlie Kirk, was a supporter of Trump. He was a conservative. He was on the left wing. And he did, he did share a lot of the same values. And he was a so-called Christian man, right? That took out Charlie Kirk. So you can't put the blame nowhere but yourself. That's your community that you need to correct. And Cornel didn't go that far, but I noticed that Piers Morgan was basically trying to deflect away from the correction of what he was saying. You're not going to put it off on the people like you got Charlie Kirk. No. Allegedly, that guy Jeffrey, who unalived Charlie Kirk, was allegedly seeing a LGBT, a transformer, and he shared the same thoughts and the same value systems as the transformer and LGBT/community, and that's where differences were between Jeffrey and Charlie, and that's why he came to his demise, because he obviously was affecting and disrespecting a lot of people. A lot of people, he was talking about, was. Yeah, that's crazy. The white nationalism with a trans boyfriend. Yeah, and I heard that. I definitely heard that. And no disrespect, man, to no orientation. However you whatever your orientation is, but that was the reason why, man, he was, disrespecting Breonna Taylor, man. There's tons of videos and receipts coming out, man. It only happens when you're on the live. And he was talking about Trayvon Martin, digging up past, traumatic events that happened that was completely irrelevant to his debates. And he would just use that as just a babbling, a bunch of word fillers just to take up time, deflect away from systematic white supremacy in their in their ideologies that they allege to, which is, hierarchy. And they don't believe in any religious beliefs. They don't want to make the world a better place. They just want to stay on top and dominate and control. So a lot of people is just starting to turn their eye back now and saying, look, this ain't us. This is I mean, this ain't them. This ain't nobody else but us. And they don't know what to do. Everybody's asking, who are you to blame? Where are you going to rival back to? Who are you going to assault? Who are you going to attack? I mean, who, right? It's the so-called Christians in the white community. And, not white supremacists. Not all whites are racist. And I'm not saying that. But look, man, we're seeing it on live TV, and the younger generation are seeing it too. The whole world is seeing it. There's no blacks, there's no Latinos in it at all whatsoever. This is just white on white crime, one-on-one. No disrespect to the white community. You know what I mean? We always say, man, if you're a humanitarian, we rock with you, salute. It's family, and once you start dividing to race, man, then we get on code with people who get on code with us. And so that's what it is, man. Let me know what y'all think about this panel. This character, Andrew Wilson, shouldn't even get no clout. But that's the reason why he was taken out. A lot of right wingers was very, very stern on them staying in control with domination. And it's just become a mess. We're getting all of our plants bought by foreigners, and there's and they're buying up and delivering and exporting all of our goods, man, responsible for our produce, man. A lot of this, man, is just spiraling out of control. Trump is just kind of pivoting his attention to other domestic issues unnecessarily, and they don't talk about, the problem in the white community, man. And it's the wannabe white supremacists out there. And everybody now is trying to be, notice y'all, look, y'all gonna look, mark my words, y'all. Everybody's gonna try to be a so-called Charlie Kirk now. I promise you, everybody's gonna have a voice and an opinion all of a sudden and try to be political. But he was a crash out for the right wingers. He was a crash out for the Republicans. So give me y'all thoughts and opinions on this, man. Give me y'all good analysis on this, man, because we know he allegiance to certain ideologies that was strictly a doctrine for the whites, and it's a formula. White supremacy is a formula, okay? And he was trying to indoctrinate the next generation. Some things when I first listened to, I actually agreed on. But then as I started seeing the receipts, man, it was very disrespectful. Saying and questioning if black women should be qualified for certain professions and things like that. Just ran on random negative talking points. Everything was surrounded by negative stereotypes and talking points and rhetoric. Let me know y'all thoughts on this, man. Salute, shout out to our legend and icon, Cornel West, man. He's one of the few that's living and is a living legend. And let me know what y'all think, man. Please subscribe to the channel, man. We on the road to 500 on this new channel. Talk to y'all soon. On to the next video. Peace.